Okay, so I had a chance to visit the Centurion Lounge in Atlanta. Here's a list of the Centurion Lounge locations in any of the American Express Global Lounge Collection. You have Centurion Lounges in Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, Dallas, Houston, Monterey, Mexico City, both New Yorks, Philadelphia, one coming soon to DC, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Miami. And there are a few others around the world. Now, let's talk about who has access and how do you access the Centurion network. You must have an American Express card, and you can get in with the Platinum card, the Business Platinum card, the Corporate Platinum card, the Delta Sky Miles Reserve card, the Delta Sky Miles Reserve Business card, and Centurion members. And keep in mind, if you're getting access through the Delta Reserve card, you must be flying on a Delta flight and purchase the flight with that card. And then you can also get in as a guest of these card holders, and here's the guest information. And I was very excited to visit the lounge because it opened literally a couple of weeks after a flight that I took. So I was bummed that I just missed the opening. And I am a Delta Reserve card member. And with the card, I get access to Delta Sky Clubs, unlimited until 2025 when they change it. And I get access to Centurion Lounge at no cost, but of course there's an annual cost with the credit card. If you're interested in learning more about that card, I have my referral link in the details below. Let's talk about my review of the Centurion Lounge. I feel like it's headed in the direction that the Delta Sky Clubs were. It wasn't a line to get in when we entered, but there was a line wrapped around to get in when we were coming out, which was in the evening time on a Thursday. But once we got into the Centurion Lounge, it was crowded. So crowded, had to circle around to find chairs and where to sit. So that's why I think it's headed in the direction of the Sky Club. There were so many complaints about how crowded the Sky Club was, and they made those changes, making it harder to get into Sky Clubs. Some of the things that I liked about the Centurion Lounge was that they had the whiskey bar there with premium liquor such as Uncle Nearest, whereas when you're in a Delta Sky Club, some of those premium liquors cost additional fees, but that in the Centurion Lounge, it was included. It is a nice setup, but I couldn't really get past all the cluttered trash. Like, there were so many dirty tables. When I'm in a Delta Sky Club, I can't even put my plate down for longer than a certain amount of time before someone's coming to pick it up. Versus in Centurion Lounge, it was dirty. And when I finally got someone to asked to wipe the table, it was like a wipe that she had already used on several other tables, and like crumbs were coming off of that wipe. So it just took a while to find tables. I'm surprised they didn't have a wait to get in when we got in because it needed it. Versus when we came out, they were holding the line and it had died down at that point. So not sure why that was. So it was crowded. There wasn't a lot of food choices. There was one main food bar, but the food was good, but it was so crowded. They were trying to refill the food. There was a bar in addition to the whiskey lounge, but there was a long line to get a drink, and also you needed to make sure you had your ID per the drink, so it's not as easy as getting, drinks for others. I noticed when my husband went to get both of us a drink from the whiskey lounge, they weren't able to give him two drinks. He had to bring the drink and then come back and get the others. One thing I noticed, and I don't know if it was just, I don't notice this as much as in the Sky Club, there are a lot of kids in the Centurion Lounge. And versus in the Sky Club, I didn't see as many as I did in the Centurion Lounge, and it could have just been the time of day, and it's summertime, families are traveling. Also, I noticed that there weren't really any like sleeping areas kind of, but I don't really see it that often in Sky Club. I know I've seen it in different lounges, such as I went to the Pride Lounge, which is Kenya Airways, and they had actual beds, sleeping area. So the closest thing you got to a sleeping area, there was a multi-purpose room in the Centurion Lounge. So I'm not sure I would go out of my way to try the Atlanta Centurion Lounge. It's just too crowded for me. And I would probably venture out to the Sky Club. I wouldn't pay for a guest to get in like we did for my husband. I don't think it's worth that. I'd rather pay to get into a Delta Sky Club. And this is just strictly based on Atlanta. I like the Atlanta International Terminal Sky Club, and it's a lot more space. I just like it better. I like the service better. I probably won't be going back to Centurion for a while. Maybe I'll wait till after the summertime, but it's not worth paying. I didn't have to pay, but even if I'm by myself, I'm not sure I would risk the crowds. It wasn't my type of airport lounge experience. And unfortunately, I feel like putting this type of video out is going to, the complaints are going to warrant them to look at entries, like maybe reducing it. I feel like that's probably coming up anyway. They just haven't said it because of Sky Club is being limited next year to reserve card from a limited to a certain amount of visits per year. I'm not sure what they'll do for the Centurion Lounge to help cut down on the wait time.